What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Caro Emerald, and we're back for what I believe is the final non-live bonus tune on this expanded edition of her 2013 album, The Shocking Miss Emerald. Thank you again to Jim. And it's entitled The Bullet. I suppose there's an inherent violence to it, or an implied violence, in the sense that bullets are projectiles fired from firearms or guns meant to cause biological damage, if not to kill the thing being fired at. Now, I expect this to be figurative or metaphorical. I suppose it might function on multiple levels, and maybe it is actually just a literal reference, but yes, I expect the emotions, or rather the bullet, to relate to emotions that tear through feelings, through someone's heart, and thus have caused damage. The question is, in which direction is it being fired, or is it traveling toward the narrator or away from the narrator, or indeed fired by the narrator? So yes, even if I'm correct in my assumption that it relates to a figurative understanding of the word bullet, there's still a lot left to be clarified. I'll try to catch what I can on a first listen. This is Caro Emerald, the track is The Bullet, and as I said, I believe it's the final studio recording included in this expanded edition, and everything after that seems to be live in Glasgow. So yes, this is Caro Emerald and The Bullet. Harp.
Whisper to me, let the air inside you be your lesson. Start with a word you know will make the ultimate impression. Words lie between the feelings we can now no longer say. Forget the repartee. I'll take the bullet, but not the blame. Did you expect I'd never know her name?
Oh shit.
I feel her blood course through my veins. I'll take the bullet, but not the blame. Elevate your sense of pride and face me at your leisure. To hear you hesitate and plead gives me a sense of pleasure. You're made of glass, its final seeing is pure transparency. This end was meant for me. I'll take the bullet, but not the blame. Did you expect I'd never know her name? I feel her blood course through my veins. I'll take the bullet, but not the
Oh. A short one. But how evocative. I mean, that really seems like, number one, movie soundtrack score type music. Number two, it sets a very vivid scene, even if I'm still a little unsure, although the general premise I feel like I've got a handle on. And the songwriting, so what was the one line? It was like, words are in between our feelings, that we can no longer, I forget exactly what the phrasing was, but like some very artfully written lines, and feeling her blood coursing through the narrator's veins is, I think, very clever. Okay, so what it sounds like is a guy that was two-timing. I don't know if she, the narrator, is the second woman, the mistress, or whether she was the original woman. I feel like maybe she is actually the mistress, but it sounds like the woman the other woman learned of a second woman and was enraged to the point where she armed herself and sought to end this tryst, seemingly by trying to shoot the narrator, but I think maybe the guy got in the way, like he's the one who took the bullet, even though the narrator's saying, I'll take the bullet, but not the blame. So I'm not quite sure who got shot, but it sounds like the other woman became infuriated upon learning the truth. Although again, the line about like, did you think I'd never know her name? So that makes me think maybe the narrator is the original woman. But either way, it sounds like the other woman became infuriated and used a weapon, shot a bullet at one of them. But the narrator's making clear that, like, this is your doing, this is not my fault. And the idea about feeling the other woman's blood coursing through her veins, of course it's making reference to the fact that a bullet would cause blood to spray, to, sort of be spilled, but also maybe that she understands how the woman is feeling because she can feel that same anger, that same indignation coursing through her own veins. So again, she's saying, this isn't my fault. Now, the idea that, like, him feeling pain or unpleasant is, like, making the narrator feel pleasure, she's taking pleasure in that, suggests that maybe he got what was coming to him, so maybe he's the one who got shot, and she's saying, look, I can't lie, part of me thinks, I'm enjoying this because you brought this on yourself, you're reaping what you sow, even if she's also saying, look, I'd even take the bullet over this because she probably really did love this guy, but she's saying very clearly that the way this is all violently ripped apart and led to someone getting shot and hurt and maybe killed, that's not my fault. So, don't look at me like, oh, I'm this mistress who waltzed into your life and messed things up. You drew me into this situation. This is your fault. And again, maybe you're reaping what you sow. So yeah, it's a film that feels like it could be in a very dramatic final scene in like a 40s movie or a 30s movie, maybe even better, as the guy is bleeding out on the floor and being held by the mistress, but she's telling him what he deserves to hear, as maybe the other woman is, being led away by onlookers or by police with the smoking gun still on the ground. So that's the kind of scene and imagery it brought to my head. I still don't know quite, again, the direction or the nuance of it, but it sounds like a violent end to what had become a love triangle, although I don't think either the narrator or the other woman realized it was a three-person situation at first. So yeah, a really incredible tune, and definitely a bit different of a vibe sonically. Not to say, most of the music I've heard from Caro so far has this mixture of throwback, big band, jazz, mid-20th century vibes, mixed with a bit of turntablism and more modern pop stylings. But this one, as I said, felt like it was score music in a 1930s film. So yeah, really, really enjoyed that one. Once again, shout out to Jim for sharing, and to Michaela and others who've been commenting on the Caro reactions thus far. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.